our lost friends, okay, or our lost patients, okay. So I tried to look at the Facebook, and I was able to find him, okay. And I grabbed the photo, okay, and this is 16 years after, okay. His profile is still okay, okay. The mandible is still in a good position, okay. He's not wearing any more appliances or fixed retainers, okay. This is the photo that he is going to get married already, okay. So, but I don't have the intraoral photo, I just have the picture of him, okay, because I just grabbed it from the Facebook. So if you try to look at another case, this is from Dr. Sato, okay. This is also a very young patient, okay. Now also in the mixed dentition stage, okay. If you try to look at the lip area, okay, he also has a lip occiput, okay. Mandible is a little bit protruded, okay. Maxilla is a little bit more forward in position, okay. Intraorally, okay, you can see a full 100% big bite, okay, a big overjet of around 15 millimeters. Okay. You get a full class 2 canine relationship. Okay. Molars are also in class 2. Okay. There's still, okay, the deciduous dentition, okay, on the second deciduous molars, okay, or what we call the E. Okay. So it's still not yet erupted. So for this part, if you look at the cast, okay, you can see now the position of the molar, okay, is the full cast second molar, class 2 first molar, okay, and you get a canine that are full class 2 and very big overjet. Cephalometric, okay, you can see a repeated mandible, okay, 2 to 75, okay, and then the ODI, okay, is 85, which is very big bite. Okay, ODI is, if we refer it either to an open bite or a deep bite. So a very big 85 is considered to
Cái
be
này có thể
a
tin một lắm.
thick bite case. Okay? And APDI of 68, okay, normally it's 81, okay, so it's a skeletal class 2 facial appearance. So we can probably say this is a skeletal class 2 with a retruded mandible. Panoramic, we have all the teeth present, including the third molars. Okay. So in cases
Yên này
of
thì
class 2, okay, skeletal pattern, okay, we are not that concerned about the the third molars. Okay. But if it is a class 3, we would, as much as possible, have the third molars removed. Okay. But for class 2 cases, sometimes we can delay the extraction or the removal of the impacted third molars. So what Dr. Sato did is he wanted to open up the bite, okay, by using what we call the double arch wire. Okay. So he used two wires, okay, a rectangular wire on the four incisors and a square wire on the accessory wire. Okay. So the main purpose of this double arch wire is we would want to intrude, okay, the anterior segment or the anterior teeth. Okay? So this was during the time where implants are not yet available. Okay? So we have to make use of the different mechanics, okay, available for us, okay, to improve or to correct the teeth bite or the patent bite. But nowadays, okay, we are lucky, okay, that we have a lot of accessory orthodontic materials, especially implant, that will help us, okay, in our treatment mechanics. So from a 100% big bite, okay, you can see now that the bite opens, okay. You can already see the lower teeth. And if you look at the posterior area, okay, the E is still present. That's why we have to bypass it. Okay? They just included the second premolar, the first premolar, and solder the wire. Okay, so this is a square wire, okay? And solder it, and then a rectangular wire. Okay? So the bend, if you try to see, passively bend it, okay, just to be able to get whatever position the incisor are, okay, because we are not yet in the leveling. What the purpose of the double arch wire is to open the bite to improve or correct the big bite. Okay? So that's our main goal, okay, for this particular situation. So you get an activation, the wire, there's a helix, okay, the wire goes up and then you bring it down and hook it onto the section of wire. Okay? So when we do this particular type of movement, okay, we don't do, we don't have the absolute type of an intrusion, okay, because there will always be a side effect, okay. When we do this particular mechanics, yes, our anterior teeth will intrude, but what will happen also on our posterior teeth will
Sao Châu.
extrude, okay? That is a side effect. But good for this particular patient because it can help us in opening up the bite and improving or correcting the thick bite. Because if the patient is open bite and you do this particular mechanic, then it worsens, it will make the open bite more. But for this particular case, it's a thick bite case. Opening the bite, extruding the posterior teeth, okay, it helps you correct the thick bite tendency of the patient. So this is after a few more months, okay, you can see now that the incisors are more upward. You just leave the canine now becomes a little bit, looks a little bit longer because you are trying to intrude, okay, the four incisors. And once all the teeth are erupted, okay, all the permanent teeth have erupted, okay, then you can already do the leveling and alignment, okay, during this time, okay. You do level align, okay, to be able to make the canine level with the incisor, okay. Of course, if you do level alignment, you can see that the bite started to close again, okay, it started to deepen. But it is not as deep now as compared to the original position, okay. So after you do the leveling and alignment, okay, if you try to compare, okay, the before, okay, and the after, okay, the canine, if you look at the position of the canine, okay, the mandible moves a little bit forward, okay, because you extruded the posterior segment. You try to somehow rotate the mandible forward. That's why the overjet reduces, okay, as you use the double arch wire. Okay? So you look at the canine position, okay, it improves, it now becomes cast to cast from a full canine class 2. So when you have already this particular type of condition, okay, now you can change to the multi-loop edgewise arch wire or the meaw wire, okay, and then you can do now the class 2 mechanics, okay, to further move the mandible forward. So when we use the multi-loop edgewise arch wire, you automatically have to ask the patient now to wear, okay, the class 2 elastics. Okay, it cannot be that you use the meaw wire and the patient doesn't wear the elastics. Then it will not work. It will just worsen the bite. Okay, so you have to make sure that the patient is continuously, okay, using the elastics, okay, when you are using the multi-loop edgewise arch wire. So
Cái này của nó
from this
cũng đeo chun chữ
particular
Z nó cũng
artery,
được mà.
then you can now do
Chun
a
chữ Z
step
ấy.
down bend, okay,
Anh
which
biết
is
thầy hay đeo chun chữ Z.
in a Achilles case.
Đấy, để đóng khớp
You
những
do
trường
a
hợp như này.
progressive step down bend, but this particular case, because we further would want to open up the bite, okay, that's why the lower arch
Đeo
will
chun Z thì
be
đi giờ
the
cũng bao nhiêu?
step up bend.
Thì
Okay,
cũng Z
so
đấy. Tùy
you have to
nếu
step
mà
up
mình muốn
bend
giữ cái
and
cung ở hàm
further
dưới
make,
thì
okay,
mình
an
đeo hàm trên thì mình
interference
chỉ
of
đi
the
lên ra khoảng độ
posterior
14,
area,
16.
okay, because if you
Đấy,
do
kiểu
step
kiểu
up,
thế.
okay,
Quan trọng mình muốn
there
giữ
will be
cung
an
nào.
interference on the posterior area, and with the help of the elastics, the mandible will rotate forward and become class 1.
Hoặc là
So
mình
you
muốn
will
trồi
be
cả đôi
able
thì
to
mình
see now canine
cả hai dây đều đi ấy.
become class 1. So on the other side, on the left side, we have more canine class 1 now as compared to the right side. So you continuously move, okay, this particular arch, okay, continuously ask the patient to wear a short class 2 elastic until you'll be able to achieve a class 1 canine molar relationship. And
Cái này báo cáo đấy sao không có nhỉ?
Cái gì?
so as the mandible goes forward, you can also see an improvement in your dick bite because you are moving the mandible forward. It also increases
Cái bài báo
the
cáo mà anh với chú
anterior
tìm ấy
height.
Chẳng hiểu được nó ở đâu.
không có chứ không phải ở đâu, ma 18 ấy.
So once you get now into the
Chắc
class
nó
1,
chuyển vào hôm khác.
so Dr. Plato added another wire, which we call the mulligan wire. It's an overlay wire. This is used to expand a little the posterior area to
Cung ẩm
improve
rồi.
the buckle of your chest. So you can expand using the wire by itself, or you can use this particular mechanics to help you expand the arch. So it's up to you if you want to use this or you just want an arch wire expansion. So they use the mulligan wire to expand the posterior area. And once you get now into good buckle over jet, especially on this area, then you can remove now the overlay wire. And then now canines and molars are now both in class 1. Then you can already
Anh dùng cung Mulligan chưa?
change now your wire.
Cũng để đi.
Nong rộng. Nong rộng nó nong kiểu nghiêng răng ấy. Trong trường hợp hẹp, cái hàm trên hàm dưới kia nó còn một tí chỉnh nong rộng nó ra để nó khớp múi tốt.
Prevent the mandible from relapse to go backward. You wanted the mandible to still maintain that particular position. So once everything is now in good position, then you can now remove your braces, and then you get now a full class 1 canine molar relationship and a full overjet and overbite. So this is the occlusal view. And if you look at the profile of the patient, you improve the profile of the patient. So from a very acute nasolabial angle, you were able to also improve the nasolabial angle. So this is during lateral intrusive movement. You wanted to check on your lateral intrusive movement. So the patient has a canine guided occlusion. When you ask the patient to move either to the right or to the left side, only the canine are in contact, but the rest of the posterior are free. Then you will be able to say that yes, I was able to make a good occlusion, even during movement or lateral intrusive movement. So this is the panoramic, the third molar, lower third molars were removed to the upper scale there. So this is 2 years post-treatment. You still see that you were able to still maintain the occlusion of the patient. The profile of the patient is still good. So this is the cephalometric radiograph of the patient. And the superimposition from the before and the after. And this is 4 years post-treatment. So profile of the patient still looks good. And if you look at the occlusion of the patient still has the class 1 canine molar relationship and good overjet overbite. And this is the occlusal view of the patient. So if you try to compare now the progress of the profile of the patient from a little bit of a retruded mandible, where you move the mandible a little bit forward, and you improve now the appearance of the patient as the patient grows older. So another patient here, this is already an adult patient. Patient profile looks good. He has a lip line that is symmetrical with the patient lip line. Fairly competent lip, a little bit of a hyperactive mentalis muscle during closure. The patient's vertical dimension on the lower third of the face is a little bit short as compared to the normal height. Intraorally, you can see now a full dick bite. and for class 2, okay, canine relationship and molar, okay, on both sides. This is the occlusal view. Okay, all the second molars were also erupted. Okay, so if you look at the arch form of the patient, the upper arch is not symmetrical with the lower arch. Okay, the upper is more of a square type of an arch shape, while the lower is more of an ovoid type arch shape. So clinical findings is for this particular patient, the patient has pain, okay, on the right posterior area of the joint. Okay, he has a reciprocal click on the right side. Okay, and when we ask the patient to move the jaw a little bit forward, okay, and then try to open and close, okay, the joint sound reduces. Okay, so the patient also has a dip bite. Okay, a class 2 canine and molar relationship, okay, and a deep ventilator fold. Cephalometric, okay, pre-cephalometric, you can see now a skeletal class 2, okay, because of the APDI, which is 77 degrees, okay, and you have a very flat anterior occlusal plane and a steep posterior occlusal plane. So the patient has like a dual occlusal plane, okay, big bite tendency because of the ODI, which is 76. So panoramic, okay, all the third molars are absent, okay, the patient only has until second molars, okay. So the treatment plan is to use the double arch wire, okay. After double arch wire, do the leveling and alignment, okay, and then do the multi-loop edgewise arch wire, and then now you go into finishing and retention. So for the double arch wire, okay, this is after 2 months of wearing the double arch wire. Okay. So you just, even if there's already the presence of the permanent teeth on the canine and premolar, okay, you just bypass it, okay, because we wanted to just intrude the 4 incisors and use the first molar as your anchor. So we did not do the soldering type, okay, just helix, okay. So this is a square 16 by 16 and a rectangular 16 by 22 SS wire for the section 1. Okay. So do a thick cut bend on the distal part of the helix. Okay. So when you insert it onto the molar tube area, this wire goes up and then you bring it down to hook it onto your sectional wire. So with this particular mechanics, okay, you can intrude your incisor and extrude your molar and improve the vertical dimension.
Bẻ dễ là
So 4 months of with the use of the double arch wire, and you can see already an improvement in the anterior segment, okay, from a 100% divide down to 50% of the lower incisor. So from there, okay, once you are able to achieve now, okay, the normal overbite, okay, then you now change to your
thì tháng 6 là
arch wire, then you install it.
Trình Tương Quang.
So for this particular case, the canine was bypassed, okay, because if we include now the canine, the incisors, okay, might go back, may extrude, okay, and we want to maintain, okay, that correct overbite. And we want during this time to still further open the bite and move the mandible more forward. So we just bypass the canine, okay, and do a progressive step down bend, okay, on the molar, premolar area, okay, and use the short class 2 elastic all the way until the third loop of the lower. So this is you still using the class 2. You can see now the bite, okay, started to go forward, the mandible started to move forward. Okay. Canine now is in a cusp relationship now. Okay. So we just continue with the step down bend on the posterior area and also on the lower because we wanted to increase more the bite. So still continue, and then we just use the triangle, short class 2 triangle vector elastic, okay, to further move the mandible more forward. Okay. So until such a time that the mandible is almost in the edge-to-edge vibe, then we can already place bracket on your canine, okay, and do the releveling with the use of the meow wire, okay. Then if there's any further extrusion of the anterior teeth, okay, it will go into normal over time.
Giải pháp nào.
So now canine, place the bracket of the canine, okay, and still continue with the class 2 elastics, okay. This is on the 3rd month, okay, of the use of the meow wire. So the bite now is almost going to class 1. Okay. So we don't want to further move the mandible forward because it will now become class 3. Okay. So we just change the vector of the elastics to a vertical elastics, which is from upper first to lower first loop. This is on the 6th month, okay, of the meow wire. So just improving the interdigitation. And use a little bit of a class 2 again, okay, to improve further, okay, the bite of the patient. Until you get now into a good interdigitation on the premolar molar area, okay, then you can already remove now the patient. So if you try to look at this is a occlusal view. So this is now the face of the patient. Okay? You still maintain a good straight profile. Okay? You increase the vertical dimension of the patient. Okay? This is the set. Okay? You're able to flatten now the occlusal plane. Okay? This is the panoramic. So if you try to compare now the before and the after, okay? So his face totally changed, okay, just by increasing the vertical dimension of the patient, okay, improving it, okay, it changes the facial appearance of the patient, okay, and without doing any extraction, okay, just by moving the mandible and rotating it forward, okay, you will be able to get into class 1 canine and molar relationship. So if you have another patient, okay, so this is another patient, okay, it is a transfer patient, okay, so the patient parents are both dentists, okay, so they wanted, they were under the care of another dentist for many years, okay, I think more than 5 years already with the orthodontic treatment. So, and then they decided, that particular dentist decided to transfer, okay, because of the problem that that particular dentist felt that she cannot correct it. That's why she transferred it to our dental unit. So this is the pre-treatment picture from the previous dentist. Okay? So the patient is still very young when he underwent orthodontic treatment. So you can see a typical type of mixed dentition stage profile. Intraorally, okay, only the 4 incisors and molar, permanent first molars are present. The rest are still in the deciduous dentition stage. So this is the occlusal view, okay, of the patient and the cephalometric radiograph, okay, showing a little bit of a protruded incisors, okay, and a class 2 molar relationship. And panoramic shows you the unerupted canine and premolars on the upper and the lower. So if you try to look here, this is before the dentist did the orthodontic treatment. Okay. So it looks fairly normal, okay, in the panoramic, okay, except that the canine position. Okay. If you look at the canine, and the first premolar, okay, it almost gives us a little bit of a warning, okay, as to where that particular canine will go in the future. Okay. But we are still hoping that the canine will go into the position, okay, where the canine should be. Okay. So the patient with orthodontic treatment, okay, and this is from the previous dentist, okay, they did the strap up, okay, of the teeth, okay, and they try to do the level alignment. Okay. So when they are waiting, okay, when the previous dentists were just waiting for one canine to erupt because the other canine already erupted. So they decided to take a panoramic radiograph. So in that panoramic radiograph, okay, they saw, okay, that the canine is in between the first and the second premolars. Okay? So it's a transposed type of a canine position. So this is the periapical radiograph of the patient. So because of this condition, okay, they referred the case to our dental clinic, okay, to have the canine in the correct position. So because both parents are dentists, okay, they wanted that the teeth of their child will have a normal positioning of the teeth. Okay, meaning canine should be on that position of the canine. It cannot be transposed. Okay, because if I have the chance, I would just extract. Okay, if you try to look at the panoramic, I will extract the deciduous canine. I will move the first premolar forward and then just extrude the impacted canine. Then that is the ECS. Okay, you don't need to transpose it. But unfortunately, the parent, okay, who are both dentists, okay, disagree with that particular type of treatment, and they prefer that we transpose, meaning move the canine into the correct position. So we try to discuss all the scenarios of doing that, okay, because the premolar is a birooted tooth. So you have the patient has a very thin gingival biotype. So the canine is not palatal, it is on the labial position. So if we pass through the first premolar, there's a chance that the premolar root, especially the buccal root, might get resorbed on the process of you moving the canine over the first premolar. And another one is there will be a lot of gingival recession, okay, on that particular area. Taking that into consideration, the parent still insisted, okay, to have the transposed tooth in a correct position. So we did a lot of discussion, signing of waiver, of just to be able to make sure that at the end, okay, they will not blame us, okay, for whatever things that will happen to their child. So after, when the patient came, okay, the patient is wearing a single wing bracket, okay. So I decided not to change anymore the bracket, okay. Even if I don't use this bracket because I use a twin bracket, I don't use a single wing bracket. But it doesn't matter, okay, as long as you make use of a bracket positioning, okay, and you don't need that much of movement, then you can still perform the mechanics that is needed. So we open up a window type, okay, because the canine is already there. When we open it, okay, there's no bone to reduce, okay, so meaning the canine is just on the labial surface, okay? And we solder the wire, okay, with a fillet, okay, because we wanted to move the canine out, okay, buckling, okay. So closer view, okay, you can see now the wire is positioned buckling, and then we try to push it, go into the button and tie it. So that the action will be going to the buckle position. So when the canine is already almost out, okay, we place now the brackets of the premolar and we try to do an inset dent on the premolar because we wanted to move the root and the crown of the premolar lingually. So if you look at the occlusal view, okay, you have now the indent or the inset dent, okay, while we are moving the canine buccally. So this is the theoretical view, okay, just to be able to see, okay, of the movement of the canine. So canine now is on top of the premolar, okay. So we started to now open the space. Okay. So I'm just showing you what I did wrong, okay? I made a mistake for this particular case because this is the case that I treated when I just finished my schooling, okay? I just graduated and I'm just in my early practice. We sometimes would make some mistakes along the way, and from there we learn from our mistakes. No? So I just wanted to share to all of you, okay, the mistakes so that you don't do it, okay, on during when you have this particular. So for this case, okay, I have two wires, okay. One is a night-eye wire, a round night-eye wire, because I wanted to try to bring the canine down, okay, and at the same time, I wanted to also bring the canine initially with the use of the power chain. And my base wire is the 16 SS wire, and I use a coil spring, okay, to open the space
SS.
Cái này
because
khó
I
đấy nhỉ.
felt that this particular
Nhưng mà
space is not
tại
enough
dây
for my
lại dùng
canine
Nó trượt
to,
tầng 3
to,
ra chết rồi,
to
tầng 4 ấy.
accommodate my canine.
lại
On
dùng
the
dây
left
SS hơi
side,
chơi
I don't
tròn, lại
have
hơi
any
cứng, đây
problem
dây
because
yếu
I
quá.
already was
Chính ra phải
able
dùng
to
dây cứng
get
cứng hơn
into
tí
a
kéo
class
rồi
1
nó an toàn hơn.
canine molar relationship. My problem is now on the
Nó trượt
right
được trước
side.
tầng 4 thì
So
khó nhỉ. Đó là
when
trượt được.
I was doing this particular mechanics, if you try to look at
Cái
this
biến dạng
particular
cái cung
area,
dây ấy.
I placed
Biến dạng cung răng.
a lingual rotor on my
Chính ra nó phải đi dây
premolar
khoảng độ
because
tầm
I
độ
wanted
17
the root
25 đi
to
ra
go
cứng để kéo xuống thì nó
lingually
an toàn hơn.
so that there will be enough space for my canine to pass through the root. Okay. That's why you can see now, okay, the position of the crown, okay, the lingual cusp of the first premolar is now extruded, okay, and is now in contact with the lower premolar. Okay. So that is my thinking that this wire, okay, will bring my canine down, and my power chain will slide my canine initially. That is my intention. That is my goal, okay, when I was doing this particular mechanics. But when the patient came back after 1 month,
Kịch bao nhiêu tin nhắn một ngày.
I was shocked, okay, with what happened. Okay. There is now a canting of the
Đấy,
occlusal vein.
biến dạng cung răng đấy.
My anterior segment, especially on the canine area, had an open bite. Okay. So there is now a canting, okay, of my wire. Okay. Why does it happen? Because I made a mistake in my wire of choice. Okay. Instead of preventing the canting, okay, I created the canting wire because my base wire is a round wire. It is not strong enough, okay, when I was pulling my canine initially and bringing it down. The canine is
Đấy,
too
nên là
strong,
méo
the
ngay.
root is too long, okay, that the incisors went up, same level as the canine. Okay. So, if I was to do it all over again, okay, my base wire, I will just use a rectangular SS wire, and my accessory wire will still be the night-eye wire. Then I will be able to secure, okay, my wire, and I have to figure 8 tie them as one segment. Okay, that it prevents it from happening. So when the patient came, okay, even if I was so scared, okay, I did not show it to the patient, okay, because the mom is always there looking. She is always beside the dental chair. looking at how I will do. Okay? So that's the stress of any orthodontist when the parent, okay, of the child who is a dentist is sitting on the beside you and looking at every step that you are doing. Okay? So of course the mom asks, what happened? It became open bite. Then I just said, it is a process. Okay? You just have to wait, okay, and then we will bring it down. Okay, but of course with lots of prayers, okay, I change again to 9 wire and try to re-level it again. Okay? So
Lại đi lại
it
dày.
was, I mentioned that there's a recession of the gingiva, and it happened. Okay? There is a marked recession of the gingiva on the canine area because of a very thin gingival biotype for this particular patient. So, but the parent accepted it. Okay? So for this, during this time, I removed the bracket of my first premolar because at first it is a single wing. I changed it now to a twin bracket, which is a two wing, okay, because I felt that I can work on the twin bracket efficiently than a single wing. Okay? That is just me. Okay, maybe if you are used to the single wing, then there's no problem with it. Okay? But I'm just not comfortable with the single wing. That's why I have to change it to a twin bracket because I felt that I need now, okay, to torque again, okay, this particular tooth. Okay? Meaning I need to make the root go buccal so that the cusp of the premolar goes up and it will close now the bite. Okay? So first nitrile wire and then change it to stainless steel wire and do the torquing. So this is the official view. So patient came back, okay. I'm already now in my stainless steel wire, rectangular wire, okay. And then I just place loop mechanics, okay, just to close some spaces. But you see the recession of the canine area. But now the canine are almost in class 1, both overtime and overtime. So we are still trying to improve it. Okay? And then we remove now the braces of the patient. Okay? Because the patient already have also to go out of country. So they are not based in the Philippines anymore. They are in another country now, staying in another country. So this is the final result. I could have poured more the root, more lingually if I had the chance now. Okay? Then I can probably reduce a little of the recession of the gingiva. But during that time, I did not do it. Okay, so if I were to do it again, okay, I will probably do the torque on the canine more. Okay, just to improve the position of the canine. So this is the occlusal view. Okay. So if we go now to a class 3 type of a malocclusion, so when we look at a class 3 malocclusion, okay, we can have, okay, two kinds of class 3. Okay. A class 3 that when the patient closes the mouth, you have a directly an underbite. And another one is when you have a class 3, okay, where when the patient closes, it causes an interference and then it shifted the jaw forward. Then you get now a pseudo class 3. Okay? So when we have this type of a malocclusion, a class 3 malocclusion, one option that we can do is probably we can do extraction of the lower first premolar, retract the canine, do anterior retraction, then you will be able to correct the underbite. Or you can probably do a class 2, a class 3 elastics, meaning a long class 3 elastic. Okay. So when you have, okay, when you wanted, okay, to use a class 3 elastic, your main purpose is to move the mandible backwards. Okay. Not just the teeth, but you wanted the jaw to go forward, backward, or rotate it backward. Okay. So one of the side effects of a long class 3 is that where it is attached, there will be exclusion effect. Okay, so if you attach it from the upper first molar to the lower canine, then you get an extrusion of your upper molar and also an extrusion of your lower canine. Okay, so that is one of the side effects, and it can actually also rotate the mandible backward, but there will be a little bit of an extrusion. So here is a case of an 18-year-old female. Okay. If you look at the mandible, it is a little bit very protruded, okay, more forward than the maxilla. So intraorally, we get diastema on the mandible, okay, and the mandible is a little bit shifted to the left side. Okay. That's why it resulted to a crossbite also on this particular area because of the shifting. So there is a midline deviation of 3.5 millimeter going to the left side, and we have an underbite of 5.5 millimeters. So on the right side, okay, we have a full class 3 canine molar relationship. On the left side, the molars are class 3, but the canine is class 1. So this is the occlusal view. You get a very wide mandible arch, okay, and a little bit ovoid shape on the upper. Okay, that's why it has a lot of diastema on the lower. So the diastema can give us an advantage when we are doing class 3 cases because it can help us do a little bit of a retraction. Okay, then you don't need to make the movement of the mandible more backward because you already reduce the underbite of the patient. Cephalometric would show you, okay, a very flat occlusal plane. Okay. The teeth on the upper and also on the lower are very flared. You get an open bite because it's 53, okay, and a 101, this is a skeletal class C pattern. So this is the panoramic view. So after level alignment, we right away proceed to the meaw wire, okay, and we started to close all the diastema. That's why the underbite started to reduce, okay. So we asked the patient to wear a short class 3 elastics, okay, which is from the upper second loop to the lower first loop on both the right and the left side. So even if here it's almost class 1, we still ask the patient to use the class 3 vector elastic. So we just use the power chain to close the diastema on the lower, which can help us reduce the underbite. So this is the occlusal view. So you can move your class 3 vector either from the second to the first loop or the third to the first loop. We seldom would move all the way to the back, okay, to the fourth or the fifth loop. Okay? Because doing that, it will extrude your posterior segment. Okay? And our activation is to do kickback to intrude. Okay? So if you have the elastic go all the way to the molar, then it defeats the purpose of you doing intrusion on your molar. That's why we only stay until the third loop. So after that, you'll be able to see, okay, canines are now in class 1 on this side, but now it becomes class 2 because we use the class 3 vector. Okay? So now we have the positive over jet. So we just continue, okay, until we will be able to improve now the bite of the patient or the occlusion of the patient. And once we are in good canine class 1 molar, okay, then we change now to an ideal wire, okay, and before we would remove now the pieces. So this is the occlusal view and the profile of the patient. So if you try to compare the before and after, you were able to move the mandible a little bit faster and correcting the midline, although there is slight midline deviation. You can still move probably, but it will become more class 2 now on this side. Okay, so that's what we will do. So I also have another patient, okay? This particular patient is a very special patient because she is an OF, we call it an OFW. She worked outside of the Philippines and she just come to the Philippines for a certain number of weeks and then go back again to her work in London. Okay, so when she came, okay, she wanted to have her teeth corrected. So in reality, she's a biomax class 3 type of an addiction. Intraorally, if you look, she has a very big underbite, okay, crowding on the anterior, upper, and lower teeth. Okay. She has a missing premolars already, which was previously extracted, maybe because of the dental caries. That's why they removed it. Okay. Not because of orthodontic treatment, but because of caries, dental caries. Occlusal view, where you can see now the crowding on the anterior region. Okay. She has all the way until the third molars. Third molars are present on the upper. Okay. And on the lower, since the third molar is pressed, also erupted. So this is the cephalomotor radiograph. Also very flat occlusal view. And open bite tendency and plastic skeletal pattern. So this is the panoramic. She has missing third molars on this side. The rest of the third molars are present. So our decision is to do level alignment. So when she came, we did the level alignment. After installing the bracket and placing the nitrile wire, she left there. And then I saw her back again after 6 months. Okay, she came back to the Philippines for a short vacation. And now, teeth are fairly aligned. Then I changed now to my meaw. Then I place all the dents. Okay. And if you try to see, all my I did individualization because she will leave again. Okay. To her work. So I just gave her a lot of elastics. Okay. I asked her to wear a short class 3 elastics. Okay. And then she left the clinic again. And then I did not see her for quite some time. Then she came back again after 1 year. Okay. After 1 year, she came back again. This is the occlusal view. So she came back again. The bite is already almost edge to edge. Okay. So I asked her, I activated it again, I do the space closure, okay, and then continue again with the elastic wear. There's still crossbite here, okay, I try to expand the wire on me, I did not use any mulligan because I'm afraid that when she leaves and with the mulligan wire there, it might overexpand the arch. So I just need to expand using the wire on me so that I can control it because I don't know when she will come back again after the adjustment. So this time, okay, she came, okay, I asked her to wear double elastic. Double elastic meaning class 3 and a class 3 triangle elastic because this is, she can stay for 2 months, okay, during this time because it is, she was able to ask for a longer vacation from her work, okay. So I asked her to wear this, okay, and then trying to correct it before she leave for the country. When she came back after a month, okay, I already was able to get into class 1, K9, okay. Of course, the molar will be class 2 because it's a upper second premolar extraction, okay. And then getting into good overjet over title. I figure 8 type, okay, everything, and then because she's going to leave again for the country. So after this adjustment, I never saw the patient again. She did not come back again to the Philippines. So she stayed in London for a long time until now. Okay, so I did not see her. So I was wondering, okay, how her teeth is now. Okay, so I tried to search again the Facebook. Facebook is very good. Okay, especially if you wanted to see lost patients. Okay, that you wanted to reconnect them. Okay, so I tried to search her again, and I messaged her how her teeth are now. Okay, and she said that she had her braces removed already when she was in London. So I took a picture of her now. Okay, so she without her braces. Okay, so yeah, she had uh, a good overcheck now. She maintained it. Okay, but of course I don't know what is happening now because I never saw the patient until now. I didn't see her again. Okay, because she did not go back again. Okay, to the Philippines. So how about if you have class 3, that is in the deciduous dentition stage? In most of the cases, okay, we can either give patients appliances because deciduous teeth, we cannot do anything. We cannot place brackets on the deciduous teeth. Okay? So you can either give appliances to the patient to be able to improve. Maybe an extraoral appliance or an intraoral appliance. So for this particular case, patient is very young. Okay? She's just 5 years old. Okay? When he came, uh, he has another bite. Okay? Profile is good. Okay, he's not really a class 3 type of a profile. Okay? So if you look at the crucial view, okay, he has a big bite, class 3. Okay? Under bite. So this is the crucial view with all the residues to present. So for this particular case, okay, we decided to place an overdenture, okay, on the arch, on the lower arch. So we took an impression, okay, we articulate the patient in such a way that we ask the patient to move the mandible, go back, and take a working bite. And from that working bite, we were able to place it in the articulator. Of course, when you move the mandible backward and get as much back as possible, then you don't have any occlusion on the posterior area. Okay? So from this point, okay, I did the carving, okay, of the wax, okay. We did the wax setup, okay, and so that when the patient wears this particular appliance, okay, when they close the bite, okay, the denture or the overdenture, okay, will guide the mandible to where the mandible will be, okay, based on where we want them. Okay? So after carving it, take an impression and pour sulfur acrylic, okay, then you now have an acrylic. Okay? So unfortunately, because I don't do any general dental work, I only have clear retainer, clear acrylic in my clinic. Okay? So I use the clear acrylic, sulfur acrylic, and then ready for the patient when they come back. So when patient comes back, okay, I install now the denture, okay, the overdenture, and then let the patient go home. So when the patient came back after 2 months, okay, without doing anything, okay, just with the overdenture, okay, you can see now that the mandible moved a little bit backward, and we get now positive overcheck and overbite. Then after
Hay phết
that,
đấy, cái này về làm được.
and then we remove now the overdenture. So of course you will have now the opening of the bite because of the position of the acrylic. Okay? So you just leave it like that and then it will just extrude by itself, okay, in time. Okay? But as long as you get the anterior segment in good overcheck overbite, then you were able to correct it. Okay? So I think I have very few time left. I will probably go.
2 năm.
So when we have open bite cases, okay, we normally can classify two kinds of open bite. We have the skeletal open bite and we have the dental open bite. Okay. When we talk about skeletal open bite, we have open bite that started from the first molar all the way to the anterior segment. That is the skeletal open bite. And when we talk about dental open bite, maybe it is just on the anterior to the premolar area that is in open bite, then probably it's just a dental open bite. Okay. So we have many ways of treating open bite. Okay. You, depending on the cause of the open bite, it can be due to a habit. Okay, then you have to give a habit-breaking appliance for that particular patient. Or if it is due to other factors, then you have to consider that. Okay, if it is due to posterior discrepancy, then you correct based on the posterior discrepancy. Okay? So one of the things that we do, okay, for the meaw mechanics is that from an open bite, we use the meaw, we do the tip back end, and with the elastics, okay, you will be able to close the bite. Okay. So here is a patient, okay, who came, okay. It is a transfer patient. She was treated by another dentist, and she has a tongue thrusting habit, okay, which resulted to her open bite. So the dentist gave her a appliance, okay, like a clip, okay, tongue clip to prevent the tongue from moving out, okay, then hoping that the anterior teeth will close by itself. So this is the intraoral picture, okay, where you have an open bite and you have now the tongue clip, okay, that is installed, okay, by the previous dentist. So the patient had been wearing this particular appliance for more than 1 year, okay? But the open bite did not close. Okay? Originally, it will close by itself if the tongue is the original cause of the open bite. But unfortunately, for this particular patient, it fails to close the bite in spite of the appliance that the patient is wearing. So cephalometric, you can see now, okay, the open bite tendency, okay, with the 64, okay. The patient is a class 1 open bite case. Okay. So this is the panoramic radiograph, okay, with all the teeth that are present, okay, and all the third molars are also present. So when the patient came, okay, our decision is to do the fixed retainer, fixed braces right away. Okay, we remove now the tongue clip, okay, and then we do the level alignment, and then we do the multi-loop XY arch. So this is a classic open bite case that is supposed to be
Lạnh quá.
treated easily with
Lạnh
a
quá.
multi-loop XY arch. Unfortunately, the patient is a non-cooperative patient. So meaning, even if you give elastics to the patient doesn't use the elastics. Okay? So what happened? You will never be able to close the open bite. Okay? It will always stay open. And sometimes it will worsen, it will become more open bite. Okay? So when we install the meaw wire, we continuously give elastics to the patient, asking the patient to wear the vertical elastics. She's not wearing. She keeps on telling us, yes, she's wearing, okay? But you can see, okay, that she is not wearing it. How? Because when I asked the patient to wear the elastics, she had difficulty placing it unless she look at the mirror. If you are a compliant patient, you can place the elastic without looking at the mirror. Okay? If you are a compliant patient that you regularly wears it. But she cannot. She has to ask for a mirror and she has difficulty placing the elastic. It means that she's
Ông này
lying.
người cái pin,
Okay?
này người
So but we can
trông như người đàn
we can only do so much.
Ông lại sang Việt Nam vậy không?
And during this time, it just so happened that I was able to learn about the mini implant. Okay, the mini implant from Dr. Park, okay, from Korea. So when I went back to the Philippines, I was so eager to use the mini implant because I felt that it is a very good tool that can help me in my mechanics. Okay, so when the patient came, okay, I installed now the knee implant, okay, on the posterior area because I wanted to intrude. So because this is my first mini implant case, okay, I'm so scared of placing implants on the palatal area because of many blood vessels and nerves on the posterior area that I'm still a little bit hesitant to place it. So I just place it on the buccal area. So this is one of my mistakes, okay? When I wanted to intrude my molar and I only place it on the buccal, and then my pool is on the buccal, then what will happen? It will make my molar to
nghiêng
tip buccally
nghiêng
into a
ngoài.
crossbite. Okay, that is my mistake. But I cannot do anything because of my fear to insert mini implant on the palatal region. Okay, so I continue intruding it. Okay, with either with a ligature wire or with elastics. Okay, so when the patient came back, it did not close. Okay? Because this time the patient is not wearing any elastics, even if you try to ask her to wear. Okay? So I'm just relying on my intrusion of my posterior segment with the help of the mini implant. Okay? So try to do it. Okay? If you try to look at the right side, you can see now my molar getting into a thick overjet, buccal overjet. Okay? Because my molar is now starting to tip buccally because of the direction of the pull on the buccal segment. Patient came back, yeah, the bite closed, but I can see now my molar on the right side getting into a cross bite. Okay? But during this time, I was so happy, okay, because the bite started to close. Okay? So that is my main goal, is to close the bite, and then I will just deal with the cross bite on the molar later, okay, by correcting with the use of the wire. Okay? So it would be better, okay, that you have to place something also on the lingual, okay, to intrude the molar without any side effect on the molar. Okay? So after that, okay, bite started to close, okay, I just continue, okay, with my application, okay, on my posterior segment until, okay, I was able to close now the bite, and then I remove now my meaw wire, okay, and then I will try now to do the correcting of the interdigitation. So just continue with it, okay. Patient is not wearing any elastics anymore, okay, although she never wore it beforehand. So I tried to interdigitate on the premolar area, okay. So I asked the patient to wear box. So of course, the patient will not wear elastic because during the time when I asked her to wear elastic during the meaw mechanics, she did not wear. What more now will she wear? Okay, so she did not wear elastic. And then I removed now the braces, okay, with good overbite and overjet. Okay. There is a slight opening on the posterior area, okay, but I will just rely on the normal extrusion of the teeth, okay, to interdigitate. So this is the occlusal view, okay. And then this is the patient now, okay. So she's a very beautiful girl, okay, baby, okay. Profile is very nice, okay, because we did not do anything. And in the first place, her profile is already good, okay, before we started it. This is the cephalometric radiograph, okay. And then this is the panoramic. The third molars are still there, okay. So then, I searched her again in the Facebook, okay, she's now there. The bite is still normal, okay, good bite, okay. So I don't have any problem with her bite yet. Okay. So, one last, okay, is for class 3 open bite, okay. We know about gum metal wire, okay. So everybody knows about the nutrients of the gum metal, okay, that they can use it also for correcting, and it is almost like an alternative to the meaw wire, okay, because the meaw wire, we have a lot of loops, but this one, okay, we place a little bit of a loop, okay. So this was introduced, okay, and invented by the late Dr. Hasegawa, Shiba Hasegawa. So he introduced the gunmetal and he uses the same mechanics as that of the meaw wire, which is a robot effect. Okay? Because for him, he will twist the wire and then he will upright the motors and then he will be able to get into a good occlusion on the posterior area. So I tried it on one of my patients. Okay? So this is class 3 open bite case. Okay? Mandible is protruded. Okay? So if you try to look at the intraoral picture, you have an open bite, full class 3 canine molar relationship. Okay? Occlusally, you have all the teeth present until the second molar for the lower. For the upper right side, second molar is still erupting, but the left side is not erupted. So this is the cephalometric radiograph. Okay? We have a negative 4 and B, okay, which is a very big class 3 skeletal upper. Okay? Upper incisors are flared radially, okay? Lower incisors a little bit upright. So this is the panoramic. So we requested the third molars to be removed on the lower. For the upper, the surgeon decided to wait, okay, for the third molar because the surgeon said that it's a little bit too high. They wanted it to go down a little bit before they removed it. But for the lower, they removed the lower. So we did the level alignment and then we installed the gunmetal wire. So this is on the 5th month. If you try to look at the gunmetal, there is no loop in it. Okay? But nowadays, okay, if you try to listen to other speakers talk about gunmetal treatment, they would place loops, okay, on the canine, the canine area, on the premolar area. Okay? But this was taught to me by Dr. Hasegawa that he did not ask to place a loop. We just did a very heavy tip-back bend on the premolar molar area. Okay, without the vertical loop. Okay. But now we have a lot of speakers who do the vertical loop, okay, which is also good, okay, because it gives you a break on each segment, okay. Unlike if it is a straight wire without loops, then it is a continuous wire. With a loop, okay, it gives you a break on each segment. So we ask the patient to wear a short elastic, okay, which is from the first premolar all the way to the canine hook on the lower, and then ask the patient to wear the gunmetal wire with a very heavy progressive feedback bend. On the 6th month, okay, I feel that it's a little bit slow for me, okay, but I can see that the bite starting to move a little bit into class 1, okay, but the open bite is still present. So on the 8th month, okay, canine molars are almost class 1, okay, open bite is still present, okay. I have some spaces that I am now starting to close with the use of the power chain. And then we ask the patient to wear vertical elastics, now which is from canine to canine. Okay, and then from there, the bite now started to close. Okay, then we remove now the braces. Okay, this is the after 16 months. Okay. So you get now the good overjet overbite, a class 1 canine relationship. Molars is class 3, but canine is class 1 and premolars is good interdigitation. So this is the occlusal view. And the cephalometric radiograph, okay, because we did not do extraction, okay, the incisors are a little bit flared still, but it reduces, okay. So if you try to compare the before and the after, okay, I'm sorry the picture, the nose was cut. Okay. You can see an improvement in the profile of the patient. Okay. There's a reduction of the mandible, okay, going backward, okay, good interdigitation of the canine molar relationship. So, okay, so just to summarize, when we are trying to use the multi-loop XY arch wire, we have to look into consideration the case selection. Okay? Some would say that I can use the meaw wire in all my cases. Okay? Yeah, I think you can use the meaw wire in all your cases. But for me, I would probably select, okay? Because meow needs a lot of part and feed. Okay? If I can treat the particular case with a traditional straight wire mechanics, then I will do the straight wire mechanics. Okay? I will not go into the meow mechanics. And you have to also take into consideration what is the chip complaint of the patient. Because there are certain patients that would say, I wanted you to correct this particular case, but I don't want any extraction. Okay? So if you don't want any extraction, even if it requires you to have extraction, but the patient doesn't want, okay, then we try to think of ways, okay, to veer away from the extraction and try to correct it orthodontically, okay, without doing any extraction. We have to also think of the biomechanics for that particular case. Okay? Am I equipped with enough knowledge to use that particular mechanics, okay, that can help in my treatment? Okay? So if I'm confident in using it, then you can, okay, use that particular mechanics, okay, and treat it, okay, for the advantage of the patient. And then patient compliance. Okay? You need cooperation of the patient, especially if you are asking the patient to use the multi-loop arch wire. Okay? If the patient doesn't wear the elastics, then that particular mechanics, no matter how good it is, okay, it will not correct. Okay? Just like what you see, okay, on the second to the last case of the open bite, wherein the open bite doesn't close, okay, because the patient compliance is very poor. So I need the help of another, okay, accessory materials to be able to help me correct that particular malocclusion. And maybe nowadays, a mini implant, okay, is a very good tool, okay, that can help us, okay, in our treatment protocol, okay, in our goals, okay, which can give us a very good mechanics if we only know how.
Anh Tùng đi
What
Trung
type
Quốc
of implant to
Ừ.
use and
tốt lắm.
where to place it,
Tốt này,
then you will be able to use it properly. So with that, I would like to thank
Rẻ tiền
everyone
chưa?
for the
Rồi.
kind
1 triệu
attention and for
một
the
cái, 2,5 triệu cái nhá.
Ừ.